What is good, all you cool cats and kittens? It's your Commissioner Tim back at you after a long hiatus from my weekly video commissioner duties. Um, I'm still not able to really do a full video with presentations and slideshows. It's been unfortunately, a very, very busy last 2 months, work-wise and travel-wise. I'm still here in Dubai, but you wouldn't know because I'm in my virtual studio for this video. I'll be headed out to San Francisco. I should be able to watch, um, this week's games. But that said, I just wanted to make sure I get at least a symbolic video, if anything, because Week 14 just wrapped up, and that concludes the 2024 season of our CCK League, boys. So just talking a little bit about Week 14 recaps and sort of my thoughts on predictions for the playoffs, both cups. Um, but yeah, we'll start with the Week 14 recaps. I think I talked about a little bit the fun stats heading into Week 14, how close it was, how different the scenarios might have been, could have been. But certainly heading into Week 14, all three teams in the top three, Kyle, Brandon, and me, could have ended out Week 14 with any one of us sitting either between 1, 2, 3 for all three of us. But alas, after a thrilling sort of conclusion of events, Moncton Meerkats finishes the bye week or finishes our season at first. The defending champion finishes first for the playoffs, earning himself the Week 15 bye for the first week of the playoffs. And I was able to narrowly get over the points for differential lead that Brandon had heading into this week, with both of us winning. Unfortunately, was able to really benefit from the first 50-plus point outing of this entire season behind Josh Allen. So I really feel bad for Brandon for Week 14. Not only did not his team lose, but Josh Allen was the one that allowed me to get over him in terms of the points for. So just like I predicted, the bye weeks, our top two seeds are going with 3 losses. So Kyle finishes the season at 12-2. I'm at 11-3. Brandon's 11-3. And we got the entire playoffs now locked in. So the first week of the playoffs are going to be Kyle and myself on a bye. Bills Mafia, I believe, is going to be going against Wooksy Fingerhold. Obviously, Wooksy started off this year, I think, wanting to compete for another high lottery pick, but his team's been really, really well. There's been a lot of weeks where Brad has scored over 130 points, and this final week, Week 14, was one of them. He scored 134 points. So Bills Mafia is now going to be facing Wooksy Fingerhold, and in the other side of the bracket, which is Kyle's side of the bracket, it'll be Braised Star Dynasty versus Huge Dicka. And Huge Dicka is also, even though he's the lower rated team or lower ranked team, seeded team against Braised Star Dynasty in the Week 15 matchup, Huge Dicka, I would say, has been playing better in the recent sort of weeks. And certainly Braised Star Dynasty had a good week, but that's going to be really, really interesting there. And now over to the toilet bowl, we got Mr. Ambassador going up against Full Jerry. And the other bracket's going to be Kevin versus Two Shots No Cup. I think the easiest one that I can guess is Two Shots No Cup, especially after he scored, I believe, all of 30 on the max points for, I believe. Sorry, 55.9 on max points for, and Kevin scoring 140 on max points for. That's really going to be sort of up in the air. Not really. I think Two Shots No Cup definitely is going to be winning Week 15, moving into the Week 16 outcome, to get at least the top 2 odds. And Full Jerry scored 130 points last week in terms of max, and Mr. Ambassador was at 105. So I think that's going to be a little bit closer. Certainly, I don't need to remind anyone, but just as a quick refresher, the first is going to have 4 balls. The second, the toilet bowl winner is going to have 4. Then it's 3, then it's 2, then it's 1. So significant differences in terms of being able to get out of Week 15 on the losing side, so that you can advance into the next round and increase your odds there on the toilet bowl side. Uh, but that's going to be really, really interesting. I think we got a really strong draft class coming up, and we'll see what happens. And I want to say all of them, with the exception, actually, I believe all of them have their own first round picks for this year. So that's going to be, they're playing for something that makes sense. So I'm expecting to see a lot of player drops heading into this week, um, so that these teams can minimize the non-zero odds of some of their non-core players popping off, affecting their max points for. Keep in mind, again, we are playing the best ball off of max points for, so do not look at the sleeper results. We will manually collate those things, and make sure that the person with the lower max points for is going to be moving on to the next side of the bracket. Now, just a refresher on the actual playoff rules that we decided. Keep in mind that week 15 that we're on, it's going to be on the regular situation, and it's going to be the case for the entirety of the winning side of the bracket for the playoffs. But in week 16, the game, I believe week 16, the matchup to decide the 5th and 6th place, that will be determined off of max points for as well, because we don't have a money payout for 5th and 6th. I believe we'll look, but that's we don't want to make sure we want to make sure that at least that's going to be determining the 1 and 2. So the winner, based on the highest max points for on that 5th and 6th place matchup, will get the worst odds or worst pick between them on the first round. So that's where everything goes, ladies and gentlemen. So we're pretty excited. I'm pretty excited about how the seasons went. Again, I wish I was able to do more videos, especially in these last 2 months, last month and a half maybe. It's been quite crazy, sort of dealing with the work stuff and just the travels associated with it. But looking forward to seeing you all and chatting with you all for week 15. I'm thankful that I get to sort of sit out week 15 with the bye, and I think it's how fun week 15 was, at least for me watching it. It was really symbolic of how fun the entire season at large has been. So I'm thankful and grateful for all of you gentlemen. A little belated Thanksgiving celebrate, note there, but looking forward to having all of you guys potentially being able to, accomplish what you want to do, as long as that is getting runner-up to me for my second chip of the year. But that said, we've got some storylines. So we got 3 teams that has a chance to be the first in CCK to be a multi-time winner, and that's going to be Ryan, Kyle, or myself. All 3 of us are in the playoffs. So, there's probably more than a 50% chance that actually happens this year, given the strength of those 3 teams in the field. But we've also got the storyline of Brandon, who's really, since that midseason trade, acquiring Derrick Henry and Travis Kelce, has really set off. And when he traded off Patrick Mahomes as well, really, really set off how he's played out the rest of the season. So obviously, if you're looking at the last 8 weeks of the season, Brandon's by far number 1 in terms of the likelihood. Now, to wrap it up, here's my commissioner picks, and I think you guys will appreciate that. I've been very fair in terms of the rankings, and certainly I don't think it's fun for me to have a bias or tell you my bias when it comes to the commissioner hat that I put on in terms of how I look at my teams. But I will say, I think starting with the toilet bowl, here are my predictions. I think Eve is going to win the toilet bowl. And I believe it's going to be John as the runner-up there. And then on the winner bracket, I do think I really want to say I think Brandon wins the championship. The only reason I'm hesitant on doing so is I think if Brandon had the bye week and he got the second seed, I would say that he's the most likely to win his second cup because of the strength of his team. But stats are stats, and if you have to play one more week to be able to win in the playoffs, at least in terms of fantasy odds, it's actually, I think it's something like 50% more likely to win a championship if you get a bye week in week 15 or the first week of playoffs. So that said, I will put Kyle as the most likely to win, and he might be the first multi-champion. And that's how I see it. I don't think my team is firing on all cylinders, especially because And I know Kyle's not either. Again, that's why I said I think Brandon has the strongest team, but he's got to go up against Wuxi. That's one, just who knows, that anything can happen. That's just one more week of any randomness that might happen, and one loss is all you need. So I would say that Kyle is the plural majority. I don't think any of the teams that I would say has more than a 30% chance to win. I think Fantasy Pros actually has Kyle at, I would say 35. I think it's got me at 33, and then it's got Brandon, I want to say like 27 or 26 or something like last time I checked. That's strictly because of the fact that he has to come up and play one more game than either of us. So that's my predictions. I think we're going to get our first, and I would say that there is a high likely. I would say off of that, there's now almost a 70% chance, right? If you're going with Fantasy Pros, that there's a 70% chance that this season ends up with our first multi-time winner. So keep in mind, Kyle, Ryan, or me. My promise to you as commissioners is if you win this year, I'm going to make sure you guys get the first multi-championship ring that's going to come with 2 trophies as the design to celebrate that moment. But that's all I've got, folks. I really hope you enjoy and looking forward to chatting with you this weekend. Good luck on Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, or not Saturday. Good luck Thursday, Sunday, and Monday, boys. Peace.